Genius. Do you want to talk about 3 levels of consciousness? 3 different bodies that we have. And all of those bodies can help you manifest in a different way. And how do you go from one body to the next? You move your consciousness over. Did you know that shamans and yogis and very, very high advanced meditators can shift their consciousness over into their astral body, and this body just passes away. They just shed this part, and then they have 2 bodies, astral and causal bodies. Now, what does that mean for your intentions? And what does that mean for manifestations? What does that mean for you choosing the realities you want to experience? What does that mean for your state of being? What does that mean for things and people, communities, everything around you? Let's talk about it. So, if your consciousness is in the 3rd jar, which is the outermost jar, which is this, your matter, you can only manifest things matter to matter. Work hard, don't sleep when you're tired, but sleep when you're done. All that motivational speaker stuff, nonsense, where you just work, network, and just hustle and do. Yeah, that's all matter to matter. Worst way you can possibly do things. That's one way to manifest. When you do astral, when you move your consciousness to the astral body, now you can affect energy to matter. And it takes a lot less time to manifest. That is where the synchronicities come from. That is where the coincidences come from. That's what I talk about in my meditations that are on my mysticalbeing.org website. I have 6 meditations and I have another 6 coming up. So when we talk about state of being, when we talk about moving consciousness, when we talk about becoming all energy, removing attention from this body into the space and the energy around you, you can become your astral body by just moving your consciousness from the 3rd jar to the 2nd jar. So I'll give you an example. So yesterday, this will be another example of how do you release, how do you heal, how do you let go of the past, how do you let go of the trauma. This is just one example, an example I've never talked about because it never happened to me until yesterday. So I'm sitting, right? And we did breath work, right? With my community, we had a very deep meditation. It was over an hour long, hour and a half long, something like that. So we did breath work, and every time I did a breath work, I would just leave. Like the beings would just take me because I would just completely go outside of space-time. So it doesn't matter that I come back in a few seconds. I was there for minutes. And one of the things I experienced was they took me to all the bad things that has ever happened to me, childhood traumas, people embarrassing me in a way that I never forgot, like these things that get installed into you. See, one of the things Greg Braden has talked about many times is when you're a kid and you go through trauma and bad experiences, at the time you don't have the tools to deal with it and release it, right? So as you're doing this work and this becomes your lifestyle, like Kyoko from Japan, what she has done is she has designed her life in such a way that meditation is the focus of her life, and everything around that she designs. So she's completely redesigning her new life. What's going to happen when she is done designing, which she will never be because she'll constantly move up in her consciousness. So this is a game that she can enjoy for the rest of her life. But this is giving her new thoughts, which then gives her new feelings, and it's changing her state of being as she designs her life around this work. And as a result, she has changed completely. Her husband has too. She was talking to us about that in our Q&As. We do a couple of Q&As a week. So I was meditating. Every time it took me to my past horrible memories, my baggage, and it felt really bad. All the emotions and everything that was just coming up because I went to all those places. I relived everything. I relived all of my horrible. I did not have a good childhood. I mean, I was in a wealthy family. Abundance was not an issue. Issue was complete lack of love. There was complete lack of a couple other things. So anyway, I'm not going to dig too far into that. I did not enjoy my childhood. I don't like thinking about it. Until I was 18 and I left. I don't want to think about those 18 years. But yesterday, I relived everything in those 18 years. And it was not fun. And what happened was, every time I came back, the first time I came back, I just screamed. And then I did another breath. And I went back and I relived more of what I didn't want to. And then I came back. And I said, no, please. And then I realized I just had this answer come to me. And the answer was, you're removing trash. You're getting rid of it. I just got this clarity in the middle of breath work. And I said, well, if that's the case, I would rather just finish it all today. Let's not do this in bits and pieces over the weeks. Let's just finish it now. I did another breath, and then I did another breath, and I did another breath. I just kept going. And I just kept going, and I just kept going. And at this point, my entire body is sweating. I feel like I just jumped into a pool, came out, and I'm just drenched. I just have sweat just dripping down from my beard. It's just coming down into my eyes. And and I'm crying, and it was just happening. And then I stopped the breath. I just relaxed my hands. My hands were open. They were relaxed. But at the same time, my hands suddenly felt like they were doing this. You know? There's a name for that in yoga. When you touch your thumb with your middle finger, and the rest of your 3 fingers are just relaxed or a little bit straight. And it was like this. And as I tried to calm down, and as soon as this happened, I forgot about what had just happened. I just became so calm into the generous present moment. Just the beauty. I suddenly felt the beauty of calmness of the present moment. And then I realized, wait, why are my hands doing this? Am I doing that? So I moved my hands, and I realized my hands were all open, but my astral body was doing this. It wasn't this body that was doing this, sitting like this. I was in my astral body, and when I thought about it, I was like, am I doing that? I came back to this body, and I moved my hands. And then I was like, oh, I could still feel the door was still open between my astral body and this body. The consciousness has not completely moved to one jar to the next. It was sort of in the both jars. And as soon as I realized that I wasn't doing this with matter body, I was in the astral body. I just went back to the astral body. Fine. And I just sat like this. I just did the meditation. And I wasn't doing this. I had full support of the beings. I had beings around me. Suddenly I felt so safe. I felt so good. I felt like just like 50 pounds. I just lost 50 pounds. That's how I felt. Just was dropped off of me. I suddenly had so much clarity of what had happened and how they just did it. I didn't have an intention of doing that. They did it. My higher self did it for me, practically hand-holding me and burning off the dead wood, burning off the remains of what was not love. You know? To check if my camera was still recording. So that is astral body. Back to the story of 3 bodies, 3 levels of manifestations. That in astral body, you're doing energy to matter. You're allowing energy to affect your hologram, to change your hologram. That's where the synchronicities and coincidences and opportunities, all of that just shows up into your life. Things are always around you, but you don't see them. What are those things around you? Unlimited possibilities, right? Unlimited realities, unlimited versions of you. But where your awareness goes, energy goes. That's what then shows up into your life. Whatever, as an observer effect, what you focus on appears. What you focus on expands. What you resist also persists, because what you resist, you're giving it energy. So stop complaining, people. You're not a victim. There's no such thing as a victim. As painful as that is, as painful as that sounds, everything that happens to you in your life, you attract it. And then there's the causal body. Where things happen instantly. That's where the materialization happens. That is the last jar, innermost jar. That's when you can create and you can open your eyes from meditation, and it's right there. You can open your eyes and it'll be right in your hands. It showed up out of thin air, ether transformed into matter. Ether, the divine matrix, the medium that we all swim in. If there was no medium, you wouldn't be able to hear me. The sound wouldn't have anything to travel through. We're always swimming in this ether. This ether is full of frequency, energy. And just like when you remove your attention from an electron and that electron collapses into wave again, why? Because the matrix is full of energy and it does everything possible to conserve the energy. So if there's no observer in the forest and the tree falls, how is it going to make a sound? There's no observer. It's all happening in the wave version of it. And then when you go to the woods, you will see the tree laying down on the floor. Electrons always go back to wave when there's no observer. That's why Greg Braden says, when you close the door of your room and you leave, that room disappears. It goes into wave. All of the electrons in that room becomes wave. All of the atoms, everything just disappears. And when you open the door, they appear. Why? The simulation needs to conserve energy. That's why we sleep, because we are a projector. We are constantly projecting things outward that we can then see, and then with our senses we can touch and engage with it. But because it's a projector, the projector is going to burn out if it doesn't shut off once in a while and goes to sleep, aka your third jar, the matter body of you, must rest. And when you rest and you're dreaming, you go into your astral body. This body becomes an idea, goes back into wave. And as soon as you move around, turn around, wake up, it comes back. It's like wave, matter, wave, matter, wave, matter. And you're having fun in your astral body. And this body is rejuvenating. The projector is off. The projector is just taking a rest. You know, kind of like a car that is always running nonstop. It won't have a lifetime as long as cars that you turn off once in a while, you know? So those are the three ways to manifest. Those are the three different bodies that you have. Those are the three different ways you can move consciousness back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And in the causal body, you know, when you actually die in your astral body, which you will, you move into your causal body. And the cool thing about causal body is you can reappear however you want into astral and whatever, because you have just gone up. But in your causal body, the last desire in your existence, because you before you become oneness again, before you join the source and God and become it, the last desire is no desire of any experiences at all. That's when you just become one. That is the last thing in our evolution, last step. That's according to shamans, yogis. Yogananda's gurus have told him this. The Babajis and the Sri Yukteswars of his time, Lahiri Mahashais of his time, that they were able to go. They had already died, but they were able to go from causal to astral to matter. They were able to materialize and dematerialize and materialize and dematerialize. They were able to travel between all three layers very smoothly. He was in Mumbai, Yogananda, when he went from Los Angeles to Mumbai, and he had a couple different events to attend. He was in a hotel where Sri Yukteswar showed up in his bedroom. Just light appeared, and then boom, there he was. And he gave him very good descriptions. He told him, this is what you can expect. Here's the evolution of three different bodies, and here's how you go back into the oneness. So that's all I got for this one, guys. I'm gonna go get some work done. I guess I'm still working, but I'm gonna go make a meditation for you guys.